What we've been doing is kind of breaking up the weathercast in two parts so we can show you as much weather information as possible. And we still have to address our current events. And we have a couple of very strong tropical showers and thunderstorms here showing a lot of cloud ground lightning. These will continue through this evening. So on and off showers, breezy conditions with these storms. They shouldn't go severe, but they will produce some gusty winds and a lot of cloud ground lightning. So keep that in mind. That's going to continue through this evening. Flood watches posted for all of Acadiana now through tomorrow and going all the way through Saturday evening. No surprise with a tropical storm or potential hurricane making landfall somewhere across coastal Acadiana from Iberia down through St. Mary Parish as we head into the early morning hours of Saturday. Now, what we have noticed on the water vapor imagery, you can see this dry air that's been coming in from Florida, also Alabama, feeding into the center of circulation. So that is certainly good news. That's keeping Barry from intensifying, but we do have a closed circulation. You have all the convection today was on the western side. We had marine warnings down through the southern flank, but eventually this gets better organized, and this convection that we've seen going across the circulation will eventually wrap around, but that is not going to happen until this gets closer to the coast, and this also limiting the intensity of Barry, at least in the near term. The National Hurricane Center has it at 40-mile-per-hour winds, drifting to the west at about 5. We expect it to turn west-northwesterly and then northwesterly over the next 24 to 36 hours. Hurricane Center has it going up to a 70-mile-per-hour storm Saturday. Notice there's no hurricane icon in here, but there could be a very short window where this develops to a Cat 1 hurricane prior to landfall, and that's why hurricane warnings have been issued for much of coastal Louisiana, offshore, and the coastal parishes of Acadiana, including Vermilion, Iberia, St. Mary, Lower St. Martin parishes, and the parishes to the south and east, and then the rest of Acadiana in a tropical storm warning. And warnings mean conditions are expected within 24 to 36 hours. That's hurricane and or tropical storm conditions. Now, we showed you this earlier, taking a look at the tropical wind probabilities greater than 39 miles an hour. We're in the 70% range. We do expect these winds to reach us roughly beginning tomorrow night in St. Mary Parish, and then the rest of Acadiana overnight into Saturday morning. So that's when the winds are going to certainly begin to pick up, and then you're going to see gusty winds, very intense winds with those tropical squalls. Latest plot on the medium tropical storm force winds, that's 40 to 73 miles an hour, much of Acadiana in the 30 to 40% range, and that could go a little bit higher. Don't think we're going to see any hurricane force winds, and we may not show this graphic much longer, but we'll see how trends go. 10% chance for most of Acadiana seeing the possibility of hurricane force winds with this system right now. As for the storm surge, we're going to have this surge issue that's going to be bucking up along the coast of the National Hurricane Center, going for 3 to 6 feet. But I always err on the side of caution with Louisiana, our shallow coastline. We could see higher water marks, maybe closer to 8 feet. We'll have to wait and see. The National Hurricane Center going for about 3 to 6, mainly from the mouth of the Atchafalaya River on southeastward into southeastern Louisiana, about 2 to 4 feet in Vermilion Bay, Atchafalaya Bay, Vermilion Bay, but these numbers I think are going to go higher. I would plan on, if you live in Sycamore Point, at least 3 to 5 feet for now. All depends on where the center of circulation is going to go, and the inundation will be across many of the coastal marshes all the way back through Avery Island. You'll have water in the marshy areas surrounding Avery and Weeks Island, down through Sycamore Point as well. And then back to the west, the water levels get lower over toward Intercoastal City, and back to the west even lower because the winds are going to be out of the north here. And notice not much flooding along the immediate coastline. This is all marsh water getting pushed back across Highway 82, which I thought was an interesting scenario. Now, coming up, we're going to take a look at the European model as it reflects very closely with the National Hurricane Center forecast, the European model forecast, and the rainfall. We'll talk more about that coming up in our second weathercast coming up in just a few minutes.